Alright, so level 4, it could include a couple different things, but we'll show you one example of something you might see. We have two lines A and B that are parallel, and we need to solve for x in terms of n and m. So basically we need to somehow set up an equation using x, n, and m, and then in that equation we need to solve for x. So as you can see here, it's kind of like one of those crook problems we saw in level 3, but this is going to be used a little differently in terms of kind of how we go about doing this. Now there are a couple different ways of doing this, but what I'm going to do is, since we have parallel lines, I'm actually going to take this little line here, line segment, I'm going to extend it all the way. Okay, now obviously my artistic ability isn't the best in the world, but assume that's a straight line. Okay, so that's like a transversal. So if you think about this, we have a small triangle in here. This small triangle, which I'm going to redraw right here for us. Okay. Inside that small triangle, we have an angle of M and two missing angles. But this top angle right here is supplementary with x. So if you do 180 minus x, that would be the top angle up there. Remember, we want to somehow create an equation with x, m, and n. And we know that the three angles in a triangle add up to 180. So if we can somehow get n to be a part of that third angle, then we're in business. So if you look at the parallel lines A and B, we have this angle n and this angle right here, which is really this angle in our picture. Those two angles are also supplementary. Okay, if you think about, again, a parallel line and a transversal, this and this are the two angles we're looking at here. Those are supplementary. So this angle is also 180 minus n. It's the difference from 180 with the angle that we're given. So what we're going to do with those three is add them up to set them equal to 180. We have x, n, and m, and we want to set them equal to 180 in terms of this picture because we know that the three angles in a triangle add up to 180. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take m plus 180 minus x plus 180 minus n. And that whole thing will equal 180 degrees. Now keep in mind we're solving for x, so we want to get x by itself. So what I'm going to do is I have a negative x here, so I'm going to add the x to the other side. And when I add the x over here, I want to get the 180 over. So I'm going to subtract 180 over. And then just combine everything together. So what's going to happen is we end up getting m minus n plus 180 equals x. So that's your equation. We just solved for x. M minus n plus 180. We have no idea what m and n are, but if we knew those numbers, we could plug them in. So that's part A. Okay, and again, the solving part, once you get the equation, should not be that bad. Part B, if x is greater than 90, what must be true of n minus n? N minus m, rather. What I'm going to do is I'm actually going to use the equation we just took, and I'm going to solve it for n minus n. N minus m right there is what we're looking for. So if I took my m minus n plus 180 equals x, and I want to solve it for n minus m. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to move the n over and the m over, and then move the x backward. So again, I'm going to miss some of the work here. I'm not going to show you all of the work, but basically what happens is we get 180 minus x equals n minus m. And the reason I did that is we want to know what's true about n minus m when x is greater than 90. So when x is greater than 90, what's going to be true? Well, 180 minus 90 would be 90. But since x is greater than 90, n minus m is going to be what? It's going to be, what do you think? Well, this has to be 90, and you get 90, but it doesn't exactly equal 90. N has got to be greater than 90, so like 91. And if you do 180 minus 91, you get 89, meaning n minus m is less than 90. So this is what we get right here. N minus m is less than 90, or 90 is greater than n minus m. So whatever n minus m is compared to 90, it's going to be less than that. Again, what is more concerning in this problem is part A. definitely doing part A is the more important part. Part B is kind of a conceptual thing, just understanding what to do, manipulate the equation a little bit.